Welcome to WhoDooTV. We are Emerald City Comic Con with Christopher Sebela. Thanks for meeting up with us.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. We had the pleasure of going to Image Expo and kind of hearing some of your new books. Got Shanghai Red, super excited for. And there was another book you announced too, Crowded.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about Crowded.
So Crowded, like I've been saying, it takes place like 10 minutes in the future. So it's a slightly futuristic book, but the main concept is it's a world where there is a platform, like an online platform called Reaper, which is like a crowdfunding platform for assassinations.
Okay.
So it starts out like with, like 10,000 people kicking in money to get rid of like a politician they all hate or something. And then kind of bleeds down the street level. So, if like there's somebody you're really mad at or, like somebody screwed you over or something, you can open up a campaign on them. And as long as one other person contributes to it, like anybody can go out and kill that person and collect whatever money you've raised up till then.
Wow. What was your inspiration behind that besides wanting to kill somebody?
Yeah, I just like popped into, I don't know. It just like popped into my head. Like I think I don't, it was just like an idle idea I had. And then I was like, well, that's a cool concept.
Right.
And then it took me about another year to like build a story around it. So it wasn't just like a hook with nothing hanging on it.
Okay. And who's on the team with you doing that?
So Rostein and Ted Brandt are doing pencils and inks. Triona Farrell's doing colors. Cardinal Ray is doing letters, and Juliet Capra is editing it.
Awesome. And that is expected about when in the year?
We're aiming for late summer.
Okay.
Like we're just starting on issue 3 now. So as soon as we have our first 3 issues done, we're going to take them over to Image and get them solicited and stuff. So.
Awesome. And you've done quite a bit of work. Big fans. High Crimes, you and Ibrahim Mustafa. Yeah. That was great. Eisner nominated, right?
Yeah, 2-time. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's cool. And then, I could go on and on about the books. Shanghai Red coming soon. Heartthrob.
Yeah. Heartthrob. We just wrapped season 2 at the end of last year, so that'll be coming out in trade later this year, and then we start on season 3. We're starting on it now, so it'll be coming out towards the end of the year, and that's our last season on that. So awesome. We'll wrap that all up.
Right. And then Evolution's doing pretty well. Skybound.
Yeah. That's a super weird book because I'm writing it with James Asmus and Joe Keating. So it's an interesting way to write a book, but I love horror, so any chance I get to write a horror book, I'm all the way in.
That's a great team up on all of that. I like all the guys on that.
Thanks.
And then what else do you have coming in the future?
So right now I have a book called Cold War coming out from Aftershock. The first issue just came out on Valentine's Day. And that's like a futuristic war story about cryonics, like people who get themselves frozen so they can be born again in the future and like all their diseases are healed and stuff, which is what happens. But then as soon as they wake up, they get handed a gun and a uniform and are told like you have to go out and fight. And it's like 500 years in the future. Nobody knows what's happening. And it's just like pure chaos. And like it's mostly like a character study, but it's like surrounded by just this really crazy war. So there's a couple, like the mysteries about who are the people who came forward and like the mystery about who's behind this war and what are they fighting for.
Okay.
And yeah, Hayden Sherman drew it and colored it and lettered it. Like he's super amazing. Like I think you'll be hearing a lot from him.
Awesome. And any other books coming out in the future?
Yeah, I'm actually announcing a book tonight at the Black Crown panel. I'm doing a book called House Amuck for Black Crown. That's going to be a 5-issue horror book about a family that kind of goes insane together.
Okay.
So it's like a road trip murder adventure with like 2 twin girls, their brother, and their mom and dad on a converted school bus.
Nice. I dig your concepts. Where are you getting these from?
Just, I don't know. Like, I just like certain things I get hung up. Like House Amuck, I got really hung up on this concept. It's a French concept, and I can't remember the word right now, but it's the French concept for shared madness.
Okay.
And it's a phenomenon. Usually happens between like siblings or like a husband and wife where they live so closely together, one of them has a delusion and the other helps build it up, and it becomes this feedback loop. And like I read a couple news stories about this phenomenon, and I was like, that's really interesting. And then I thought about like what if you did it with a whole family?
Oh, wow.
And yeah, from there, then it just like I incorporated stuff like I'm interested in conspiracies. I don't believe in them, but I'm sort of interested in the mindset that does. So like it touches on a lot of that stuff too. So it's, I mean, the concept is only like half the work. Like then I have to come up with characters that actually feel interesting and real. So yeah, I don't know. I just like I idly think of stuff and write it down, and if it seems good, I just keep coming back to it until I turn it into something.
Nice. And like, what other artists or even movies or whatnot are like your inspiration? Like you inspire, you know, whoever that is, Rob Zombie, Stephen King. I don't know.
Yeah, it's really hard for me to point to one inspiration. Like I try to pull from all sorts. So like I read nonfiction books a lot. I get a lot of stuff, you know, just like like an aside in a nonfiction book, like that will be the germ for a story for me or a really cool concept to explore. And I watch tons of horror movies, and a lot of those are garbage, but occasionally get the good one. But it makes you think about like, well, how would I do it where it didn't suck? Like, I don't know. Yeah, I just like I try to take in as much stuff as possible, and then I don't know, just turn it into something.
And that's a lot of work though too. How are you staying motivated to get all those different projects going? What's your routine there?
I mean, the motivation is that like, you know, I've always wanted to do this all my life. So now that I'm able to, I just don't want to screw it up. So yeah, and I like having books out, and I like making new books. Like, so last year, like I kickstarted 2 comics of my own.
Oh, wow.
Because I couldn't get a publisher to agree to do it. So yeah, I just want to, you know, keep making as many books as I can trick publishers into putting out for me, or just put them out myself.
That's awesome. And where can our viewers find more information about you at?
My website is ChristopherSebela.com. It's mostly updated, but Twitter is probably the best place.
Awesome.
I'm on there a lot, and that's at xtop, XTOP.
Okay. And I want to thank you for spending some time with us, talking with us I know you're busy during this con.
No worries.
And we want you guys to follow him. We're going to put some links down below. And yeah, thank you again for taking the time to speak with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Awesome.
Thank you for watching WhoDooTV. We want to give a special thanks out to Christopher Sebela to come on and talk about Crowded.
If you like videos like this one, make sure you hit subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at WhoDooTV. And also, we want to thank our friends over at Outright Geekery. Check them out for everything geeky.